Okay, as we kick things off for this video, let me start with a disclaimer and a little bit of my intention. Disclaimer, of course, I am not a medical professional. I am not an expert in these things. Everything I'm explaining are the things that I'm researching as I go along and the things that I'm being told as I go through this process. And that brings me to my next point, which is my intention. And my intention is to just share what I experience. I am not recommending it. I'm not advising you on it. I am not endorsing it. I'm doing it because of what I want to achieve and out of my own curiosity. And I am just sharing my journey and my results. So my curiosity in using peptides to heal my body and make my body stronger as it's healing spawned from conversations I had with a friend of mine who owns a clinic who specializes in this kind of treatment for athletes and anyone really. And of course, the conversations initially started about testosterone. A lot of people my age, even younger, are on testosterone for various reasons, but primarily, you know, for the more on the surface type benefits of being on TRT. I don't have any interest in it. I haven't had interest in it. I don't have interest in it. I just don't want to take testosterone. I have my own opinions, and if you're on it, look, that's fine. That's something you have to do. Sometimes there's medical necessity. Now, if it was medically necessary, absolutely. But just to take it, just to get an edge, I have no interest. So what I decided to do was actually go to an actual clinic because I did not feel comfortable looking into providers online and ordering these things online, these peptides online, not truly knowing what you're getting. I'm sure there's some places that other channels or something have vetted and can probably recommend, but I just didn't feel like doing that. And again, this information was brought to me by a friend of mine who owns a clinic that specializes in this kind of stuff. And he was the one who was kind of telling me to really look into it as far as benefiting from the ability to repair my body. So of course, I just went to his clinic. And I just got back from there. And I did have confidence going in because they called me prior to showing up after I made put my information on their website and was booked for the appointment. They kind of talked to me on the phone and walked me through what I was like looking into and what their recommendations were as far as what peptides they figured would be best for me given what I need and what I'm looking to achieve. And then today I went in and they again sat me down with I met a doctor, and then they took me in with a specialist who sat down and walked me through the peptides. And what I was told was the peptides again that I'm going to be taking or looking into is BPC 157, which again is a body protection compound that's going to help me heal some strains and injuries, fully heal. Remember, I've been doing a lot over the years, and my body is better than it's been for a few years as far as I've healed up some things, but I continue to injure the same things because as I heal them up and repair them and strengthen them, either the same thing gets hurt again or something in the same area. And I'd love to just get things fully healed or as close to 100% as possible to continue training the way that I do, the way that I love to do. So what was explained to me was that I will take this they wanted me to do 90 days. I read, some of the stuff I read was saying 30 days is a good cycle, but they advised me that 90 days is better. You'll feel better in 30 days, but to truly get it all, healed up, 90 days will be better. So what they recommended to me was two compounds, BPC 157 and I believe it's Sermorelin or whatever. I'll put it down at the bottom. I'll have to read the package. And they want me to take these two peptides together for the best results. One thing they asked me right off the top was how I felt about testosterone, and I was pretty blunt and said I have no interest in testosterone whatsoever at this point, which they were very respectful of. They did want to explain to me that for the absolute best results, that they wanted me to consider testosterone because the way it was explained was that testosterone is like the foundation, and then of course when you have your testosterone levels up, as you're taking these peptides, it's just going to ramp up what they do even more, and so you get better results. I understand that fully. But I genuinely have no interest in testosterone right now. I just don't, okay? And I've spoken about that before. Down the line, in my 50s maybe, when things really start to dip and it starts to affect my health to some extent maybe. So yeah, it went very well. It was very informative. I liked that I was at an actual clinic and just being in a place where things were very professional and explained to me in great detail. And I'm sure that the peptides they're providing me are fully sourced and legitimate. So today will be day one. I'm supposed to take the injections at night for best results. Let's start with BPC 157. BPC 157, or body protection compound 157, is a synthetic peptide consisting of 15 amino acids derived from a natural protein found in the stomach. Known for its potential healing properties, BPC 157 is being researched for various therapeutic benefits. These include promoting wound healing, improving gastrointestinal health, reducing inflammation, enhancing blood vessel formation, and offering neuroprotective effects. So those are really good benefits that, of course, would be appealing. It works by interacting with growth factors and cellular pathways crucial for tissue repair and regeneration. This is my primary interest in BPC 157, or peptides. While animal studies show promising results, more human trials are needed to confirm its efficacy and safety. BPC 157 is usually administered via injection near the injury site, but the appropriate dosage should always follow medical guidance. Now, I've seen a lot of videos talk about that where the injury is, they're actually injecting the BPC 157 into that area specifically, but I actually was told to just grab fatty tissue on my abdomen and actually inject it there. It didn't need to be site specific. I also asked about oral BPC 157 because I initially did not want to do injections, but they told me that the injections were actually more effective, so I did go with that. Know this, guys. Currently, BPC 157 is not FDA approved and is primarily available as a research chemical. Its safety profile in humans is not fully understood, emphasizing the need for further research. Despite its potential, caution is advised when considering its use. This is why I don't plan to use this for a long time. I actually just want to do like a one-off and see if it really can heal these issues I've been dealing with for years. From there, I was advised that you basically don't want to stay on this stuff. You kind of cycle it, then you come off, and if you're dealing with something later down the road, you can look at doing it again. This is not something you will take long-term. I don't really like taking anything long-term outside of like regular supplements like whey protein and maybe creatine, stuff like that, my vitamins. Now let's talk about Sermorelin. Sermorelin is a synthetic peptide that is used to stimulate the secretion of growth hormone from the pituitary gland. It is composed of the first 29 amino acids of the naturally occurring human growth hormone releasing hormone, GHRH, which is sufficient to maintain full biological activity. Sermorelin is primarily used to treat growth hormone deficiencies in children and adults. In children, it can help promote growth when the body does not produce enough GH naturally. In adults, it can help combat symptoms associated with low GH levels, such as decreased muscle mass, increased body fat, and reduced energy levels. And it enhances recovery from injuries. This may be why they paired this with the BPC 157 for me. Or again, they're just trying to get a little more growth hormone in my body to make the BPC 157 work better. I assume that's why they pair these together. Advantages of this therapy: one of the main advantages of Sermorelin over direct GH therapy, growth hormone, is that it stimulates the body's own production of GH, which can lead to more natural patterns of hormone release. So I want you to understand that. That's key here. It's used to stimulate the body's own production of GH. We're not putting synthetic GH or testosterone into our bodies. And hopefully it leads to, again, a more natural pattern of hormone release. That's appealing. And potentially fewer side effects. It also reduces the risk of overdosing as the body's regulatory mechanisms help control the GH levels. So your body has these mechanisms to control those levels already. You're stimulating your body to naturally produce more hormone, and your body already has these guardrails in place to protect it from overproducing, so there's no overdose fear here. This is how I'm taking what I'm reading. Again, I'm no expert, guys. I'm reading, this is the research I've done. Sermorelin has gained popularity not only for medical treatment of GHD, so growth hormone deficiency, but also for its off-label use in anti-aging and wellness programs. However, its use should always be under the guidance of a healthcare professional to ensure safety and efficacy. So guys, that's a basic level research that I've done on these things. Again, my primary interest in all of this is to heal my body from just years of damage through Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and strength training, and just the wear that I put my body through. And the reason I want to heal from it is because I want to continue to live my active lifestyle and do it comfortably. I've learned all the recovery, and I've been doing that for the last few years, and that has been helping tremendously. But if I can get over this last little hump and heal these things fully, then I will be ahead of it instead of always trying to catch up to it. Again, by that, what I mean is, with these issues in my body, my recovery training and all the things I do is keeping me kind of on par, and maybe just a little behind. But if I can get these things healed right? Then all the things that I do for my recovery and all the stretching and mobility and everything that I do to heal or to keep up, it'll actually keep me ahead of these issues. So it will be preventative instead of recovery. I hope that makes sense. So week one, I know other videos I watched, people were stating how in the first week they really didn't feel anything. And these are people who were actually going directly into the specific area that had pain, directly into or injecting directly into that site. And of course, I mentioned before that I'm going into just fatty tissue in my abdomen. There's a few specific areas that I'm trying to heal, mainly my lower back, my SI joint and QL, this area here, and then this shoulder. Now this shoulder was so bad that it's not like it was painful, but there was pain. Just as I'm sitting and moving this arm, there would be pain here. And then of course, certain movements would just be painful, if not very painful. Just trained around it. So shockingly, and I don't know if this is a placebo effect, but in the first 3 days, I got relief here. That ache, that soreness and achy and just the just pain, like that underlying, like it's just there. It's not incapacitating you, but it's there. That pain actually went away within the first 3 days. But let me disclose that I am still consistently training in everything. I'm strength training, I'm doing Muay Thai, I'm doing Jiu-Jitsu. I know for this to work probably faster, I probably shouldn't be doing anything, or at least not engaging the areas that hurt, but I'm just not doing that. I'm still training. So of course that can have an effect, and I think it did. On day 6, just certain motions while I was lifting were painful again. But it's hard to explain. It is getting better. I know this because I know the pain I was dealing with prior, but of course it is not gone. So having that in 1 week, that's encouraging. Secondly, around day 7, the lower back pain, again, it's my SI joint. And I do a lot of recovery and I'm able to deal with it and almost make it go away. And it's gone as long as I don't train. But that pain back there is pretty significant when it is an issue. And I have to say that it is starting to subside, especially today, the morning of this is day 8. So beginning of week 2. And so I'm encouraged at the fact that, wow, I'm just beginning week 2. So 30 days or 60 or 90 like they've recommended, I gotta imagine what I'm feeling already is just gonna be amplified. I'll be further down the road, I'm hoping. As far as the Sermorelin, I don't know, I don't really see any gains in strength, anything that you would imagine you would get by releasing more hormones, but I think maybe that again is amplifying the healing. I will say that I trained really hard yesterday with the fight team and my endurance was through the roof. So maybe that's a factor. I have been pushing my endurance. So again, with me training consistently, I can't like be very obvious in the things that it's doing, but I am feeling improvements. And that's something to note. So let's talk about week 2 and week 3. On the kind of towards the tail end of week 3. Now, week 2 was like week 1. Things were getting better and better. I felt like specifically my back, that lower back pain that I get, again, it just continued to dissipate. My shoulder, it did kind of like I started to feel that pain again, but it still just wasn't as much as before. So I was in my mind, of course, or what I was feeling is that it was continuing to heal. I don't know if that's placebo, but I'm telling you, week 1 and 2, I was feeling the healing. No side effects really to speak of. One thing I noticed is right off the top, I mean, within the first couple of days, I'm sleeping like a brick, like heavy sleep, like groggy sleep, where I wake up groggy, I'm sleeping so heavy. And then suddenly at the like tail end, the weekend of week 2 going into like day 1 of week 3, things have changed a bit. So for some reason I was having trouble falling asleep. I wasn't having trouble sleeping, but I don't know if maybe I was wired or something, but I was going to bed later and later. But when I finally get to sleep, again, sleeping like a brick. But that was odd. I did have one night where I really couldn't sleep. That could have been a myriad of things. But what I really noticed end of week 2, beginning of week 3 was pain started to come back. The pain in my lower back started to come back and severe pain in my shoulder. Now, let me again explain that I have not taken any time off from training. I still roll jiu-jitsu 5 times a week. I train Muay Thai 4 to 5 times a week. I lift 5 times a week. I have a very full training schedule. So, full transparency, I have not slowed down at all. If anything, I'm trying to train more. So I'm certain that's having some kind of factor. Now, what I had to acknowledge a couple days into week 3 when I was like, okay, why is this pain coming back? Now, let me say that It's definitely not as severe as it was prior to doing peptides. I can feel that things are healing and that they're better, but man, my shoulder really flared up this week. Now, as I'm sitting here trying to think, I did realize that I had stopped doing my recovery exercises. I think I was excited about there being less pain, almost no pain, that I was just kind of working out more and not taking the extra time to do my recovery training. I was still stretching and rolling and stuff, but as far as my shoulder, I didn't do any of my shoulder recovery exercises for the first 2 weeks. So regardless of healing, I can't neglect those things. So around day 4, I think day 4 of week 3, I realized it and I was like, oh shoot, I got to do my recovery exercises. And then as I was doing them, I did start to get relief. So it's either two things. I probably need to not train that muscle or that area at all as I'm healing and continue to do my recovery exercises. Or two, I need to train a little less, but again, continue to do recovery exercises. So basically, guys, I've did a lot of videos on like recovery training and all these different exercises. I need to make sure that I continue to do that. That's just not something I can ever really stop. I'm learning that now, regardless if I heal these things fully. Again, I forgot my initial message, which was once this healed, I wanted to stay ahead of it. So doing my recovery training was going to become preventative training. So yesterday, after doing recovery exercises, feeling better, still a bit jacked. So I did the massage gun, and then I finally did some red light therapy, infrared therapy as well. I put a device on my shoulder last night. I woke up this morning, and I feel great. So I'm, again, finishing off week 3. This week brought a lot to light that, I don't know, again, I feel like I took a step backwards in my healing, in my recovery. Also, what I think it's bringing to light is that 30 days is not going to do it. You know, I was initially just going to do peptides for 30 days, and the clinic and other things I've been watching, they're saying 2-3 months, like minimum. I don't want to be on this stuff for a long time, so I said at the most I would do 2 months. I was really hoping that I would only need to do 30 days, but right now, with what happened this week, I don't know if I'm going to take a big turn next week. I really think I'm going to end up doing 2 months or 60 days. Let's see what week 4 looks like. Okay, guys, so here we are. I'm on the tail end of week 4, and what I can say right off top is that things are back on track. First and foremost, something that I mentioned last week was the sleep, but my sleep is not just back on track, but heavy. I was an hour late this morning. I'm sleeping heavy, real heavy. And primarily what's back on track is it feels like the healing is back on track. I mentioned all the pain I was going through last week, but I did also mention that I wasn't doing my recovery training. So, a few things that I tweaked. Number 1, I am training less because I learned that I can't just keep training at the pace and this stuff will heal. I mentioned that. I needed to pull back my training a little bit. So when I say that, I'm still doing my strength training, my conditioning. I'm just not doing as heavy or as many weights. I'm not doing any hard contact this week as far as striking. I'm not doing any sparring, just training and drilling. Same with jiu-jitsu. I'm not doing any rolling. I think I rolled once this week and was very careful. I'm also wearing a shoulder brace when I'm teaching to kind of keep things locked into place. And I'm back to doing my shoulder recovery exercises, my rehab exercises, and all my stretching routine, all my recovery stuff for my back and my shoulder. I'm doing all that regularly again. And things have been healing way more, and the pain has come down significantly. So, here's what I've gained. As far as the Sermorelin, I'm sure it's doing its part. I'm feeling the healing. I'm sure it's doing its part to kind of help the BPC. But as far as some of the other gains that you would imagine that you would get, or things that people mention, let's just talk about muscle mass. I have seen a little improvement in muscle mass, but nothing significant, nothing massive. But I have seen a little. What I've really seen is increase in endurance. So that's been good. Outside of that, I mean, nothing huge on that front. Now, let's get back to the healing. I know my body is healing. I can feel it. Specifically, my QL does not hurt at all anymore. My SI joint, as the day goes on, it just continues to be a problem. As I do my recovery exercises, my stretches, my mobility stuff, it does get better. My shoulder, I think I truly damaged that thing at the end of week 2. I was worried that I actually did tear something. It is improving. I've been doing, again, beyond exercises, massage gun. I've been doing the light, and I did some cupping last night. And so it is healing. I do have range of motion in it. The pain is definitely dissipating. So I think I just screwed that up. So I'm gonna peel back for a couple weeks and keep letting it heal. So at the end of this 30 days, what I can say fully is that the stuff does work. It just doesn't work the way you would have hoped. I remember seeing Dr. Huberman talk about how he had hurt his back lifting and he like 2 days of injections of BPC and the pain was completely gone. I didn't experience anything. I remember telling you guys in the first week, yes, I did experience some pain relief immediately, which got me very excited. But overall gone, no man, that was not happening. So I don't think it's an exaggeration. It could have a different situation. Honestly, it could have been a dosage and the kind he was using. I don't know much about dosing, and I'm not going to get into that. I'm not experienced, so don't come at me in the comments. Like, look, I went to a clinic. I let them decide and give me what they felt I needed in the faith that it was going to be a safe dosage. So I'm not like going to increase or ramp anything up in that regard. I'm going to stick with what I'm being told to do at a low, safe level. So temper your expectations if you assume that it's going to be this miracle thing. Because again, I went in kind of hoping, thinking it was going to be that. And it kind of is, but it's just going to be a slower walk than I anticipated. And they told me that. They kind of were preparing me for that on the phone and in person, telling me this was going to be a 60-day, 90-day thing. And here I am thinking it's a 30-day thing. Last thing on that front, I have to consider that I'm probably dealing with more severe issues. And this is why it's not like going to heal in 30 days. But again, I'm telling you that I'm healing. I am feeling it. So at the end of the day, I've accepted that I'm going to at least have to do another 30 days. So I'm going to do 60 days. I don't know if I'm going to do 90. I'm hoping that 60 is enough. Would it be worth doing 90 days to fully get rid of the issues I'm having and again, get to where I want to be, which is preventative, not recovery, where all the things I do prevent me from re-injuring things instead of all the things I do working to just keep me, to recover me and keep me at a level that I can train at? I'd be potentially willing to do 90 days, but that would be it. I will not do more than that. Honestly, I want to stop at 60 days. I just don't want to be on anything for a long time. I look forward to the healing continuing, and I'll just keep learning and getting smarter about it. Okay, guys, again, this isn't any subject that I am an expert on that I can speak intelligently about. Throughout the video, I was just sharing the information that was available to me. It's the information that is also available to you. And I just wanted to share my experience with using this stuff for 30 days. I came in again, very hopeful that all I was going to need was 30 days. And I will say that in this 30 days, again, one more time, I have experienced healing. I know the pain I was in prior to taking BPC, taking these peptides. This is just information as far as my experience with peptides. Something I was willing to do to heal my body, because again, I'm trying to do everything I can to keep doing the things I love doing and keep a healthy body. Okay guys, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.